Hello everyone and welcome to our session. We are off-grid color and we are so happy to have you all joining us to learn about what we're doing at our homestead. So out of today's session, you should get the following from us. 1, you're going to learn about the purpose of mission of off-grid color and who we are. 2, we're going to talk about homesteading and how you can homestead your way into a life of self-sufficiency and sustainability. And 3rd, we're going to talk about how you can participate in the things that we're doing and how you can start being self-sufficient today. So first thing first, who are we? We are off-grid color. Our mission and purpose pretty much is simple. We are 2 former big city dwellers. I am originally from Chicago and Emanuel here is originally from LA. And we are homesteading in North Carolina. We're passionate about leading people to take greater steps towards self-sufficiency through our farm products, birth coaching, and community services. So, one question that you should have right now is, what is homesteading? The best definition that I ran across that I really like is really simple. Homesteading is the lifestyle of self-sufficiency. And self-sufficiency is pretty much being able to provide your own needs without external assistance. So now we're going to talk about how we are homesteading here in North Carolina and meeting our basic needs. Often, if you're following us on Instagram, Off-Grid Color and Homestead Asili, you will hear us refer to our homestead as Homestead Asili. Asili is a Swahili word that means ancestor, nature, and has a lot to do with referring to agriculture. And the whole purpose of, one purpose of the summit is trying to show people how to reconnect with the earth. So we think the name of our homestead is very fitting for the purpose and mission of Off-Grid Color and what we're actually doing. Our homestead setup is off the grid. And what that means is we are not tied to any kind of public utilities that will provide our essential needs, such as electricity and water. Iman, you want to talk about our electricity?
Well, just to go a little further with the self-sufficiency on the electricity, we're to the extreme that the power was out in the neighborhood. Like, we couldn't go to the post office, couldn't mail anything. We didn't know. Mm-hmm. We were still using our stuff. But our electricity, so we run 4 solar panels, so we have 400 watts coming in, have all the wires coming down to a charge controller, and from there it goes to a battery bank. Got a handful of batteries. We're able to store enough power to run our lights, to run fans, charge laptops and phones. I can charge all my drills. We also have a water pump that runs off the electricity.
We think being able to supply our own energy is pretty awesome. Every day the sun shines and it comes out and it's full of energy, so why not use it? Another utility that we're providing for ourselves-ish is our water system. You want to talk about that and why I said ish?
I like the word ish. So it's ish because it's coming from our nearby neighbor who pumps it out using an electric pump out of a well. So that's not really off the grid, but we're not doing it. But we are working toward making it so that ours is off the grid. Right now, we've got a pump who supplies it for our house and for our garden and for our animals. We're working on raising our water up so that we can use the water pressure, because we have 220 gallons. It's sitting there. But we're going to collect rainwater for our main water source.
And we also have a gray water system.
Oh, that's really cool. Yeah, so we have a 55-gallon drum, just installed it under the house, collects all of our shower water, all of our bath water, and it just does really well.
Something else that we're doing here at the homestead is we manage our own waste. Do not freak out. It's not as bad as people think. We have a bucket toilet system in which Emmanuel made a beautiful box, and we have a plastic bucket inside of it, and we also have a urine diverter That way, it kind of keeps the odor down and you don't have to change it as often. As people release their solids into the bucket, we have composted material such as sawdust that we use to put in the bucket. Once the bucket is full, we take it to our outside composting box that we dump off the material in, and we add more composting matter. So it's a static pile that we kind of let sit. So once it's full, we'll let it sit for a year, and in that time, you have your own compost. And we also are thinking of other innovative ways in which we can compost, such as our food scraps, which is something most people know, and making compost and tea, which I'm just learning about. Another thing to highlight about our homestead is we live in a tiny house. It's 192 square feet, so producing water for it and electricity for it is very simple. And because of our small way of living, we also have adopted some of the ideals of minimalism, reducing all the stuff that we have to pretty much only the things that we need. And it's a work in progress, but we're really happy to really dive into that lifestyle. So we just talked about our homestead and being off the grid and how we operate it and run it. Another thing that we do to take greater steps towards self-sufficiency is food. You gotta eat. So we have a garden, a beautiful garden full of potatoes we have right now, and corn, and kohlrabi. Do I always say that wrong? How do you say it?
Kohlrabi.
Kohlrabi.
It's a German word.
It's a German word for a leafy green? No.
Cabbage turnip. I mean, it translates directly to cabbage turnip. They didn't bother to come up with a new word. They just stuck them together and said, it looks like cabbage turnip. Kohlrabi.
I'm learning about all the different
We also
kinds
grow
of
moringa. And then we have those field crops you're talking about. We have some Sudan grass. We have more corn. And what was the other thing in there? I know there's the iron clay peas.
Iron clay peas.
And sunflowers.
And sunflower. And that's a separate field in and of itself. That field we have to help us supplement the next part of our food system, which is the animal livestock, or just livestock. It's probably a better name for it. You might can hear the roosters out there crowing. So we have chicken. We have our egg layers, and we're getting about 7-ish or plus eggs a day. You also have our meat birds that we're raising. You also have turkeys. And we have rabbits, pigs, and the best of the best, sheep. And raising meat is really important, especially if you enjoy eating meat. You raise them how you want to raise them. You control what you put into your animals, and you're part of the whole life cycle, from birth even till death.
I think animals are the easiest.
You think so?
I think so. Well, just in terms of what we eat as humans.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we're not living on carbs.
This is true.
We're living on meat and fat.
Something else that I like about our food production system here is we're developing an herb garden in honor of my brother Richie, who passed away just under 2 years. And so it's a beautiful circle which represents peace, and the whole herb garden is just all about power and healing. And you can learn more about that from our website. Next, we're going to talk about the different ways in which you could participate in what we're doing here in Off Grid and Color, and how you could take the next step today in being self-sufficient. We've just started a hatchery here at Off Grid and Color. We're currently seeing 100 eggs of Rhode Island chickens being hatched right now. How can a chick be your next step towards self-sufficiency? Great question. Rhode Island Reds is a bird that was produced back in the early 1900s and is now viewed by the American Poultry Association as being a heritage bird. This is a dual-purpose bird that can be raised for meat and for eggs. In about 6 months, you can get this bird up to 6 to 8-ish pounds, depending on if it's a hen or a rooster. And within a year's time, you can get about 150 to 300 eggs a year, and that's a lot. So by raising your own bird for meat or eggs, you are taking your step in producing your own food for yourself. So you should get your order in right now to get your chicks today. Something else that we're going to be doing this summer is we're thinking about the holiday season. This is a good time to purchase, pasture-raised chicken from us and turkeys and your pork. So you can look at more for that information on our website. Another component to Off Grid and Color is our birth coaching services. I am a trained doula, and I help birth givers bring beautiful babies into the world. I want to help people think about the birthing process and how we can explore the various options that you need and your family need to bring healthy babies into our world. Other things that we're considering doing this summer is a lot of people are wanting to come out to the farm to really just have that one-on-one experience of learning how to homestead. You can definitely look for more information about how you could come and visit the homestead and maybe spend a day or two out here just learning some of the basics. The last thing we have is our youth services. We really want to get youth involved of thinking about how homesteading, gardening, and farming is for them. Anybody can homestead. It doesn't matter who you are,
how old you
are, where you're located. You could take steps toward being self-sufficient. Whether you are a vegetarian and you want to start a garden, whether you love meat and you want to raise your own meat, or you believe in the medicinal properties of flowers and herbs, you can start today. You don't need a lot of money. We don't have a lot of money.
We don't.
You don't have to have all your ducks in order. We don't have all of our ducks in order. You just got to start with what you have and make the best out of the situation. We thank you all so much for joining us today, for listening about our organization and how you participate in it. Once again, you can follow myself, Chantel Johnson, on Instagram at Off Grid and Color. You can follow Emanuel where?
Oh, same place, Instagram as Homestead of Sealy.
And definitely check out our website, Off Grid and Color. Peace, love, and healthy living.
Thanks.